Those who beheld the Saviour were mainly women. Women had ministered to him of their substance, and now, when they could not show their bounty, they showed their sympathy. It is remarkable that in the whole history of our Saviour no woman behaved badly to him. He might be deserted or betrayed or slandered or put to death, but this was left for men. It was contrary to the Jewish law for any person to show sympathy with a condemned individual. We have every reason to believe that that was the law of the time. It became the traditional law. We are told it was the law then. There's a car coming. But the women braved the law, defied it, and showed their sympathy with this man who was being taken forth. Like a malefactor to be put to death. His disciples, who were men, fled like women, and the women were as bold as men. They played the man who might have been expected to be feeble, and those who ought to have been strong became weakness itself. Our Saviour did not think lightly of the compassion of these women. It is recorded in Holy Writ that he bestowed upon them his last acknowledgement. I know he spake afterwards, before he died, but they were rather cries than words. They were griefs, ejaculations. But his last speech on earth, I may say, was made in acknowledgement of the tender sympathy of these bold but sorrowing women, who clustered around him on his way to his death. I wonder who they were. Would it be wrong to suppose that they had heard his speech, that they had been charmed by the gracious things that dropped from his lips? Had it been more than that, had some of them been healed? Were those there who had felt his mighty touch and had gone their way restored after years of suffering and infirmity? Probably there were some. Or were there those there who had had their children healed, their friends and relatives restored, and who felt gratitude to Jesus for making those who had been the objects of their anxiety to become once again the objects of their delight? I know not what may have been the miracles that bound these women to the Saviour, but certain I am that it was not mere pity for a person about to be put to death, for they do not appear to have wept for the other two who were taken out to execution. The Saviour did not say, "Weep for us," but he recognized that the weeping was about him and himself personally, and he said, "Weep not for me, but for yourselves and for your children." It was not because they saw a man about to die that their tender hearts flowed over in their eyes, but because they recognized in him something more than an ordinary man,